What is non-duality? We are going to explore that together. As always, my name is Blaze. I teach about awakening, healing, and manifestation, the integrated suite of properties of consciousness that make up your life. And we're going to explore non-duality today through a page, an image I remember from my high school science textbook, which is how the eyeball works. Which the first step is the eye takes light in from the world, passes through the eyeball, through the optic nerve, and runs into the brain, where a representation or an image of the world is created. This is how you see. So what that means is that when I look out into the world, I'm not actually seeing the outside world. I'm seeing an image that is being generated inside of me. So there's an over there, there's things that are far away, but everything is here. Right? You can see this for yourself with your eye right now. Everything that you see is here inside of this one image, this one manifestation, this one creation. Now in science, this happens in your brain, and that is true. Now, if we take that further though, we notice that our brain, our body, our hearing, all our other senses, all our other experiences are also being created in this one image. So instead of imagining the body as being foundational to consciousness, we can inquire, what is the true host of my experience? Now that can take us down all kinds of interesting questions to identity and the nature of reality. But for now, we focus on the fact that there is one place. There's actually only one thing that is happening right now in your experience. It's this inner projection. It's this inner experience, which is the sum total of what you see, what you hear, your thoughts, feelings, and sensations, and all of the subtle phenomenon like awareness that exists in consciousness. Non-duality means that I recognize that I have one experience, that there is one thing that is happening, one inclusive, full experience of being consciousness. All phenomenon are properties. They're qualities of this one thing rather than being distinct in and of themselves. Yes, again, my lamp, my computer mouse, the window, these are distinct within the experience, but the experience itself is one. And this in many ways brings great joy and simplicity and beauty to life, to be able to process, to recognize the singular quality of my experience. Everything that I experience is internal to me and happening in the same space. This is non-duality. Now, why is this not the dominant experience? Why is this not obvious to everyone all the time? Well, it can be. It's possible that when you hear me describe this, you go, oh yeah, and you suddenly recognize the singular non-dual reality. But usually there is maybe always, there's a radical process of integration. And that is because our consciousness is fragmented. This is what trauma is. It's a fragmentation of our experience, or in our body, of our nervous system. So there are two ways to have a non-dual reality. One part of it is that I contemplate the nature of reality. I learn to see the one thing that exists. And I might do this because I watch this video, or I hear many different spiritual teachings that emphasize this property or this quality of consciousness. And that's beautiful. The other thing that's going to happen, the other aspect of this, is I'm going to have to integrate all of the parts of life into one experience. I'm going to have to integrate the fragmentation that has occurred through my life. I'm going to have to heal from the trauma that I have experienced. Trauma is not just like when you get in a car accident, or if you have a death in your family. Trauma is any process that fragments your consciousness. It can be very gross, or very physical, again, like getting in a car accident, or it can be very subtle, like the relationships that you have access to in your life, and the way that your consciousness incarnates when you were born, and all of the other developmental phenomenon that really need to be supported earlier in your life. So whether you can come at this from two angles, I suggest both. That's a fundamental part of my teaching. Either you can focus on the contemplation of the non-dual reality, or you can work to integrate all of the parts of yourself. Ultimately, I recommend you do both. I wouldn't wait to just have some big experience that moves and unifies life and makes the non-dual reality clear. Even if, or when you have a spiritual breakthrough, it's probably going to be very necessary that you actively work to integrate your experience, which means your body and your nervous system. So there are these two facets that are part of a non-dual experience. One is looking at the non-dual reality, learning how to hold your whole experience in focus. The other is learning to feel and welcome parts of yourself into this experience so that you can rest in a singular experience. When there is fragmentation, it's very hard to rest in this open space, and through healing and integration, it becomes very natural just to feel all things happening at the same time in the same place. One undivided experience. So as always, both of these facets I teach. I teach about meditation and contemplation. I teach about healing trauma and especially the power of relating, of connection. So in the description below this video, I invite you to sign up for the free events that I have upcoming on these topics and more. And yeah, may you recognize the singular quality of life. Everything that you've ever experienced happening one place, internal to you, your consciousness, your experience of being.